After 20 years of designing homes, I walk into stores like this and I'm asking something different. Not just do I love it, but what job will it do? These questions lead to very different homes. I want to show you what I mean. I'm at Urban Barn and I'm going to walk you through the 5 pieces that most people would buy for how they look. But I want to show you what they're actually doing, because the homes that feel the most finished, the most calm, they're almost never built on the loudest pieces. They're built on the quietest ones. If you look closely at the pieces that make it feel finished, really look at them, almost none of them are doing just one thing. Pieces that make a home feel calm and complete are almost always doing 2 or 3 jobs, and most homeowners don't know that. So they buy pieces that catch their eye and it looks beautiful on its own, but it does only one job. So the room still doesn't feel finished. That's the gap I want to close today. A basket. These are the pieces most people underestimate. They see storage, and yes, it stores things like blankets, books, toys, dog toys, whatever your version of beautiful chaos looks like. But that's only its first job. Look at the texture, the natural fiber. The weave creates visual warmth that you cannot get from a smooth surface. Most homeowners think warmth in a room comes from color, but it also comes from texture. And a basket is doing that quietly in the background without asking to be noticed. And then there's the shape. Basket sits on the floor next to a sofa beside a chair, and it gives the room visual grounding. It's organic, brings the eye down when everything else is at eye level. And then there's the tray, which is doing something completely different. A tray doesn't hold things, it contains them. There's a distinction. When you put objects on a surface without a tray, they're just sitting there, random. Your eye has to make sense of them one by one. When you put a tray underneath them, your eye reads them as a group. One decision, the visual noise drops immediately. That's what I mean by doing more than one job. A tray organizes the eye, a basket organizes the room. Neither one is just decoration. And here's the question I ask myself before I buy either one. Before I buy anything for my home, I ask, what job is this piece going to do? For a basket, does it reduce clutter? Add warmth, create visual grounding. For a tray, does it bring order to a surface that feels chaotic? Does it make the room easier to look at and easier to live in? If the answer is yes to even one of those, it's probably worth considering. If the only answer is I love how it looks, that's not nothing, but it might mean this piece works better somewhere else in your home or later when you have a clearer sense of what the room actually needs. Most people buy a lamp for a light, and that makes complete sense. That's what a lamp does. But here's what I see when I look at a lamp. I see scale, vertical element that gives the room something to reach towards. I see a warm light source that changes the entire atmosphere of a space after 5 p.m. Overhead lighting flattens a room. It's functional, but it doesn't create the feeling of being in a space that feels considered. A lamp does. And here's something most people don't think about when they're standing in a store looking at lamps: where the light falls. Overhead lighting illuminates everything equally. A lamp creates pools of light. It draws your eye to certain areas and lets others recede. That's how a room starts to feel intentional, like someone thought about where your attention should land. You have to also consider the scale. What kind of atmosphere is it creating? Visual direction. It's doing all these things all at once. Does it add warmth to the corner that feels cold? Does it bring balance to a side of that room that feels heavy? Does it improve the atmosphere of the space after dark, which is honestly when you're going to turn your lights on at home? If yes, that lamp is earning its place. That's a quiet piece doing a lot of work. Wood is one of the most misunderstood elements in a home. People choose it because it looks beautiful, and it does, but I want you to understand why it feels different from everything else in the room. Wood has variation. Every piece is different. The grain moves, the color shifts, and what that does in a room is incredibly important. It introduces what designers call organic pattern. Not a print, not a graphic, just the natural movement of the material itself. In a room full of solid colors and smooth surfaces, a wood piece is the thing that makes your eye relax because the variation is natural. There's something else wood does that very few materials can match. It anchors. A wood side table beside a sofa tells the room this is intentional, this is placed. The visual weight of it gives the room a foundation. And then there's time. Wood is one of the few materials that looks better as it ages. It develops character, it becomes part of the story of the home. That's the opposite of trend, that's investment. So what job is this piece going to do? Does it add warmth to a room that feels too cool or too uniform? Does it create balance on a side of the room that feels empty? Does it anchor a seating area that currently feels like it's floating? And will it still be doing that job 5 years from now? If yes, a well-made wood piece isn't a purchase. It's a decision that keeps paying off. I want to talk about linen and cotton because these are probably the most underestimated pieces in any store. They're not dramatic, they're not statement pieces, they don't ask to be noticed, and that's exactly why they work. Linen has this quality that very few fabrics have. It's slightly imperfect. It creases. It has a softness that isn't uniform. And in a room, that imperfection reads as ease. It tells you this is a home someone actually lives in, not a showroom, not a magazine, a real space. Cotton does something similar but slightly different. Cotton absorbs light. Rather than reflecting it, it softens surfaces, it adds layer without adding visual weight. When you layer linen and cotton in a room, a pillow here, a throw there, you're building what I think of as the room's softness, the thing that makes a space feel like you can actually breathe in it. Hard surfaces give a room structure. Soft surfaces give it permission to relax. And here's what I always tell homeowners about textiles. This is where you can experiment without commitment. You can change a throw. You can swap a pillow. The bones of the room stay the same, but the feeling shifts with the season, with your mood, with who you've become. That's flexibility, and flexibility is underrated in design. So what job is this piece going to do? Does it add softness to a room that feels too hard or too stark? Does it bring warmth without adding color? Does it make the room easier to live in, not just easier to look at? And does it give you the freedom to change your mind later without starting over? If yes, linen and cotton are some of the quietest, most hardworking pieces you can bring into your home. So here's what I want you to take away from today. These 5 pieces, the basket, the tray, the lamp, the wood furniture, the linen and cotton, they don't look alike. They don't match. They're not a set, but they all share the same quality. They work quietly. They don't announce themselves. They don't compete for attention. They just do something consistently in the background. And when you build a home with pieces like this, pieces that are doing more than one job, that adds something without taking something else away. The room starts to feel like it has a silent logic to it. You walk in and it feels calm. It feels considered. It feels finished. And most people can't explain why. But now you can. It's not the big statement pieces. It's not the perfect color palette. It's not spending more. It's the quiet pieces doing multiple jobs so well that you stop noticing them and start noticing how the whole room feels. The next time you're in a store or the next time you're looking at something in your own home, ask yourself, what job is this piece doing? Just that. Not do I love it? Not does it match? Not is it on trend? What job is it doing? If you can answer that clearly, you're already thinking like a designer. I'm Chantel, an interior designer and design educator. Seen Through Design is where I take you inside real spaces, stores, hotels, restaurants, and homes, and I show you what I see. Not trends, not shopping lists, the silent logic underneath why some spaces feel the way they do. If you want to go deeper on this, on how to read your own home, understand why it feels the way it does, and start making decisions with real clarity, I have a free guide linked below. It's called Design Your Space with Clarity, and it's a simple, thoughtful place to start. And if this series resonates with you, subscribe because this is just the beginning. I'll see you in the next one.